So much happened so quickly.
We can all agree, CGI is a Marvel movie's best friend. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness takes that concept to the next level, using a ton of visual effects. So let's hop through the portal and take a look at those impressive scenes. Number 1. If you didn't like this movie for whatever reason, we think you can agree with us that this scene was pretty amazing. As Doctor Strange grabs America into a multiverse portal, they fall through the most random universes. Of course, there's not a whole lot of practical things VFX artists could have done here, so this scene had to be completely CGI. We would have thought there'd at least be the actors in front of a blue screen, but those close-ups on Benedict Cumberbatch were all convincingly digital. The process to make this moment was very tedious for artists, as they had to make each environment more unique than the last. Pretty impressive stuff here. But the real madness comes from those couple of scenes in the paint reality. Professionals that are in visual effects can tell you how difficult it is to work with liquid physics.
I think the whole thing was challenging because there's so many elements that go from shot to shot.
Number 2. Only Doctor Strange could concoct a trap big enough to distract an evil witch. But don't be fooled here. This moment was entirely digital. Unlike our last entry, production coordinators did indeed have the real Elizabeth Olsen here, but that was as real as it gets. The only real behind-the-scenes look we have here is an amazing-looking contraption spinning around Olsen as she stands in front of a backdrop. As simple as that was to shoot, producing the mirror environment around her was a whole other feat. Number 3. The opening of any movie needs to be able to grab the audience's attention. And as Multiverse of Madness begins, so does the maddening CGI work for VFX artists. The whole environment produced in this scene was 100% digital. Set designers built a massive green soundstage and a little strip for the actors to sprint down. Number 4. Why not include a little demon fight in a Sam Raimi horror film? As Strange attempts to dreamwalk into Zombie Strange, Christine now has to complete the mission every common gamer loathes: protect the hero until the timer runs out. Now, knowing that it would be pretty dangerous for the director to include real-life demon bats, Rachel McAdams had to beef up her CGI chops and fight with the air. Number 5. A broken reality needs a lot of CGI to fix it back up. In the scene where Strange and Christine find themselves trapped in a broken reality, everything is quite literally turned on its side. Artists had a lot of background work to get done in order to make up the chaos. Some practical pieces were added, like the floating car and building structures. It must have been a real change for the VFX team to actually get permission to go as wild and unexplained as possible here. Number 6. It takes a while for some people to get with the digital craze, and for some of the members of the Illuminati, they went full CGI with their outfits. Surprisingly, the suits Reed Richards and Black Bolt donned were entirely digital. To get the task done, VFX coordinators crafted skin-tight suits covered in trackers to make sure the digital makeup stayed put on their bodies. But the work doesn't end there. The big fight scene against the Scarlet Witch was not even done with all the actors in the same room. We don't know if it was due to scheduling or the pandemic, but they basically had only 2 to 3 actors communicating in real time on set.
We wanted the fans to go, "Oh, how cool."
Number 7. You've got to keep both eyes open for this one, especially if you're Cumberbatch, or you'll miss nothing on set. In terms of CG monsters, this beast was very well done. If only the actors could have seen it in real life. Stunt coordinators had to work endlessly with the VFX team in order to make sure everything matched up, adding as much practicality as possible before anything got too dangerous or destructive on set. Number 8. Possessing a zombie is a little extreme for a Marvel movie, but if you hire Sam Raimi to direct, nothing's too extreme. For the zombie scene, set designers built a massive stage with blue backdrops and a really impressive cliff. As filming on location for that scene would have been dangerous, they went for as much digital here as possible. Not just on the environment, but even Zombie Strange got a bit of work done on his face in post-production.
I wanted that character to have conflict.
Number 9. The space between realities needed to look as trippy as possible, so no use of practical effects were necessary here. All of this is pure CGI. With the help of a few actors to sell the scene, it's fitting for an environment between realities to really have no sense of reality at all. Number 10. You know we're all about that CGI cape. No practical. If that little joke flew by your heads, no worries. Maybe let Strange's cape do the explaining. Since a lot of what our hero does is with a flying and somewhat conscious cape, it'll need a whole lot of digital. And in this case, it looks like even when he was stationary, the cape was not made practically. There are a lot of moments on set where we can see Benedict strolling around with one over his shoulders, so it's super cool that they keep us guessing when it's real or not. Number 11. Look at all those layers. When America was able to punch like a superhero, it always made for a pretty stunning visual. Effects artists really broke down the visual of the punch, adding on layers and layers, putting the super in superhero punch. This one in particular was a little more tedious because of the fact that America was punching a glass like Cell. But at this point, shattering glass effects are a no-brainer for these professionals to achieve. Number 12. Talk about catfishing a sorcerer. When the Scarlet Witch reveals her true evil colors to Strange, the entire environment becomes void of all life. The light is taken away to reveal an evil red landscape. Not that this was the most difficult effect to achieve or anything, but this was super interesting to see behind the scenes. By just adding a touch of red and throwing the actors in front of a backdrop, they were able to change the tone of the scene almost effortlessly. Sometimes you just gotta take the digital shortcut, and with Marvel VFX artists, they deserve a few breaks every once in a while. Number 13. Benedict, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. When a scene calls for two different versions of an actor to interact with each other, the most simple way of doing it is just splitting them up on the frame for different takes. But fighting each other with close-ups? Not so simple. With the spells being a big factor, VFX artists now had to seamlessly match up the CGI needed to fill in the scene's environment. Luckily, production hired a stunt double to execute it more practically, but getting those moments synced up effectively is all thanks to those editors and CGI artists. Number 14. If you've watched some of our previous Doctor Strange videos, you'll know that the Siege of Carmitage was definitely the heftiest one on production. All those different sound stages were built perfectly to coincide with each other. However, none of this could have been held together without a little digital glue. All the magic spells and environments were executed in post, blending in with the practical sets and lighting. Without each of these aspects working hand in hand, this scene would have not turned out the way it did.
It was a great collaboration between special effects, stunts, camera crews.
Number 15. Wanda is no stranger to creating imaginary worlds, but she couldn't have done this one without a little help from CGI. While a lot of the Darkhold is indeed practical, there are always bits of the environment that need a little digital touch-up. Artists worked on the background of this one a lot, adding in a few spell effects as well. It's hard to believe CGI sometimes, but Marvel has only proved how far that technology has come with the rollout of Multiverse of Madness. So put on those imagination capes. If you were in a Marvel movie, what's the one effect you'd want the artist to do to you? Let us know in the comments.